You're either one or two things in this world: a scientist or a science project. For modern man, having an education of some type of skill will help you to enjoy life a little bit better in the concrete jungles. How could it not be considered suicide for humans to die from ways that humans have created for humans to die from? How could it not be considered murder for prisons or any other institutions to feed a person food that has been proved to lead to death? I fear dying from eating animals more than I fear dying from animals eating me. And that's because I consider it to be a natural form of death. It has been around since the beginning of time, and there is least suffering involved than most man-made ways to die. Should there be access to the less miserable ways to die that God has provided for us, although I take it as being mentally strong, they say only the strong survives. But I see people suffering being prolonged by technological advances. I have seen people that are physically disabled sitting around waiting on disability checks, drinking until they die of cirrhosis of the liver. I have survived 5 automobile accidents, but I don't believe that I would have survived the same number of lion or shark attacks. I have seen animals in a cage attempt to kill themselves, whereas the same animals in the wild never displayed this type of behavior. It's just simple mathematics that if you take away natural predators and create man-made ways for humans to function, you will also have to create man-made ways for humans to die, because the population has to be controlled. The lifestyle of modern man has no purpose. It is boring, and in most ways is disconnected from most of the benefits that nature offers human beings. This entire system is a prison, and the jobs that this prison offers us only help to control population, make the prison more secure, and to entertain, which isn't nothing but distractions and brainwashing. This system is so boring. I once wished that prisons served raw vegan food so that I could just say, to hell with this crap, and just live my life behind bars with real food, with no worries, or having to be a modern day slave. The only way that this system can be destroyed is if it is unable to destroy us. If the population can't be controlled, the system will have to collapse. And that's the reason why they start attacking us at birth with Similac foods that are addictive and harmful. The system doesn't need us to possess the energy and smarts that real food gives us. They only want us to have just enough energy to drive their vehicles, push their carts, read their strips, push their buttons, and sell their drugs, etc. There is power in numbers. And I need everyone. I'm live on camera, man. You want to get on it? You got something to say?
This is what the fucking Illuminati look like.
Yeah, this is Illuminati member, nigga. This nigga watch me hard, man.
Gold teeth, big ass diamond earring.
I work for these
cats. You can see that motherfucker from right here. You see what I'm talking about?
But I'm rebelling, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to free the slaves.
Polo shirt,
nutrition.
See me? Polo drawers. You understand me? Ralph Lauren shit. Polo shoes.
Yeah, I advertise this shit, man. It don't mean nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, people gonna fall victim to every trap that's out there, though. You know,
But
some
on the
get the
cool though, I ain't the
some
Illuminati.
learn,
I'm really part
and fortunate enough
vegetarian
to.
and part
Yeah, I've been
Illuminati.
transitioning this cat to a vegan.
Yeah.
You know, he trying to lose a little weight or whatever. But anyway, there is power in numbers, and I need everyone to try their best to overcome their fake food addictions, and to try to overcome the temptations that are made convenient to us. It's a must if we want to free ourselves from this phase of this system. It's a must if we want to free ourselves from this phase of this system. Then we go into another phase of this system. We have been making it too easy for our enemies by eating soul food and everything else that has been killing our people. Think about it. The people that you know who has died, most if not all have died from food-related deaths that could have been prevented by eating the right foods. I am not easily entertained, and I long for the time when I am connected with tribes who really enjoy life and peaceably interact with nature. How long do we have to interact with this devil to realize that he's no good? I don't go to clubs. I really don't go anywhere besides home and work. There are man-made activities that we can choose from when we get bored. Primitive humans take chances of dying while we have to take chances of suffering. An example is selling drugs or being a prostitute that could lead to suffering behind bars. So, the slavery of old was a lot healthier than modern day slavery. The slaves of the past were a lot healthier than present slaves. The system was somewhat complete when the slaves achieved their so-called freedom. We are free to make choices that can lead to a happy life or a miserable life, but only after the mechanisms of society programs us from a young age to make the wrong choices more than they program us to make the right choices. The slavery of old was created to create the slavery of now. You can be a slave to God, which are the things that will benefit you, or be a slave to the devil, which are the things that will harm you. If you closely examine our society, you can see all of the purposes of slavery. We are the guinea pigs. Any American that doesn't speak any other language besides English and don't have any other place outside of America to call home, we are the ones targeted by these nutritional depleted foods. I noticed a lot of foreigners work at stores, hospitals, and other jobs that they say Americans don't want or are too unhealthy to occupy. They say don't give up, but people are unknowingly giving up daily and has been taught to do so and to not be able to understand when they are doing so. Once again, there can't be any black power or any other power without correct eating habits. To be non-compassionate, hostile, and violent are some of the effects that processed foods, animal-based foods, cooked foods, drugs, and alcohol have on us. So they never intended for us to care for one another, and that's part of the divide and conquer strategy. If this system continues to exist, we will suffer and eventually die from the ways that our enemies have designed for us to die by. And since the people in power are blind and don't want to hear what we have to say, I insist that we show action and stop eating what they have designed for us to eat. Let's see what happens when we stop eating at certain places and food on the shelves are consecutively outdated chemtrails in the sky from a flyby when the inmates are on the prison yards outside. If we demand better, our supply should get better. So let that crap that they have sitting on these ships and in these warehouses sit there and rot, and watch what the results will be. We have been put in a cage called the city to die the way that our enemies have designed for us to die. And I can't emphasize this enough. Why stay here and fight this if our enemies have given us tasteful ways to commit suicide? The food system wouldn't work if we didn't have the so-called freedoms to choose to eat what's made available to us. We would be suspicious if someone forced us to eat a certain way. So use your freedom wisely and choose the right things. And that's all you can do.